Well then, third game between Joe and Brickhead then is gonna be on Blue Lagoon, and the gods are gonna be yet again different for all of them. But it's still gonna be Egyptians, as in the last one. This time though, Joe is coming back to his Isis, and Brickhead is gonna be playing the Ra. Okay. So I'm thinking this is gonna be a comfortable, much more comfortable matchup for Joe. Because of course he is a whole lot more used to playing the Egyptians, whereas Brickhead is a whole lot more playing, especially Norse. He is basically main Norse originally, but lately he can basically play any kind of god. But he is also quite partial to Poseidon. He has been playing that god quite a lot, especially for example in RTS League. He has been playing him quite regularly. So yeah, definitely looking forward to his Egyptian, if it's gonna be any kind of threat to Joe's Egyptian this time as well. In the last game, of course, it was as well. But this time, I'm feeling that this is gonna be a good old boomy war between the Egyptians, and that's a whole different story than the aggressive set. Alright, so let's have a look around the map right now for Joe. Okay, gold is definitely safe for him, between the towers close by to the TC and to the basically back of his base. As he's right now already discovering the back TC for himself, that seems to be reasonably safe also, as he's also scouting quite a lot of gazelles on the right side. It's gonna be helping him with the early economy and with the early booming as well. Definitely would be curious if Joe is gonna be yet again employing 2 TC faster heroic, or if he's gonna be like kinda learning from the last game and be getting a bit scared and advancing basically into standard 1 TC at about 7 minutes, 7:30 as well. Wouldn't be surprised by that at all, as he does have the gold reasonably close by to maybe drop a Migdol right next to it. That really seems to be reasonably close to do anything like that, and plenty of zebras in the middle as well, with his TC being in the middle also, and the enemy ones as well. So this is actually quite an interesting matchup, as potentially this could be quite an important battlefield, and maybe even a lot of mercenaries exchanged between the TCs in here. Let's switch into Brickhead to have a look on his map so far. He's having the giraffes inside his base also. The gold. Well, I was going to say reasonably safe, but this tower is spawned kind of funnily. Not really guarding the gold all that much, so the venue is definitely open from the left side. And it might be kind of dangerous if it's actually gonna be scouted by Joe. Because Joe might be having the idea to also try to deny the TC on the left side. The gazelles and the gold and whatever. So maybe this could be some kind of venue for Joe to abuse Brickhead. But let's see. Let's see how it's gonna be going in the late game. Because of course this TC is still reasonably safe for Brickhead. And the gold kinda worse than what actually Joe is having, I'm thinking. But still solid enough. Especially with the gazelles that he probably is gonna be using. And the woodline in there in the front to provide some kind of natural walling in there. And allow him to maybe drop a Migdol right next to it if he actually wants to. Okay, so Fog of War off. And we're gonna be seeing the map in its entirety. So what kind of interesting and curious spots do we have here? I'm just gonna be looking at the golds. Kinda having slight feeling that maybe Brickhead, with how he's so far playing, kinda aggressive playing in all of the games, well, both of them. He has streamed 2 games today. He might just want to try to capture this gold. Wouldn't be surprised by that at all. Like for example, Migdol about here could be also given a bit of a protection through TC, though not really entirely because of course of the woodline in there, but still could be quite solid, as otherwise the gold mine is quite far away from him without any kind of significant protection. But let's not really say that it cannot be walled off. There's a wall here and there, and he's kinda happy. Yeah, it's not really bad gold when you think about it like that, but otherwise he probably will be also interested in the gold on the right side, because of course he will want to place a bit later, if this game goes into the late game, he will want to place market about here to go to the TC to the top, basically the most efficient way for him, as he already is dropping the temple for advance at about 5 minutes maybe. About 5 minutes, which is probably gonna be heading for the 2 TC fast heroic as well. So yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a boomy game from him. For the opponent, he is kinda having the same position on the gold mines. They're also kinda far away, all of them. Which is of course nice to see that nobody's having any kind of safe gold. This one seems to be a bit more safer for him. Yet again, wall there. And there. Maybe across here as well, even though it's not really that easy. But looking at the TC in here, he might not even want to do that. He might want to just basically try to wall up here. And like mimic the wall that I was just talking about for Brickhead. So it's going to be really important to basically see how the players are going to be approaching the left side, because I'm really feeling that it might be quite important for both of them. Anyway, From this position, it's gonna be market for Joe. All the way to the TC at the very bottom. That's definitely how it's gonna be coming for them. And in the meantime, of course, he probably is gonna be advancing as well, but, well, maybe a bit later than the rat player. So that seems to be telling us that this might really be just a standard fast heroic at about 7:30, something like that. Let's see about that a bit later. But anyway, in the meantime, we can check Black Lotus, but the villager farming rate. That's a huge relic. Huge relic that could be very important for Brickhead Azra. But for the enemy Egyptian, of course, as well. But for Brickhead Azra, of course, it could be quite a lot more important. And better scout unit LOS. It's actually not that tragic. It's actually not that bad for an Egyptian. Because that should be increasing line of sight for priests. Hopeful. I hope that is actually the case. Or at least for Pharaoh. Maybe somebody in the chat will be knowing some kind of confirmation on that. Because there are a lot of actually effects on the relics that are kinda actually not as you would be expecting them. That some units are for some reason actually excluded and along those lines. So it's not always that evident what is affected by them. So maybe that could be a good idea for a video to basically test them properly and let everybody know what relics work for what and for what they actually don't work. And maybe it could be also working as some kind of feedback for the Wobbly Balance patch to maybe fix some kind of imperfections that might be in the game. And the developers just basically forgot. A lot of the relics have been already fixed on the Wobbly Balance patch, of course, but maybe there is still something that is not really making that much of a sense and could be fixed still and has been, for example, maybe missed. Who knows? Who knows at this point? Already you can see that basically pretty good map control is coming for Joe. You can see he's all over the place basically. As Brickhead is seeing basically his corner of the map. Not really scouting that much, like at all. Right now he's gonna be scouting through the Sphinx as he is heading into normal faster heroic as well. There's gonna be one TC faster heroic for him also at advance about still kinda late-ish, about 7:40 maybe. But for Joe he already is. Oh, he kinda mismanaged it. You can see he's having 1,200 foot at this point. He already could have been advancing, but unfortunately he kind of forgot about the proper build order. Maybe a bit too used. Some kind of 2 TC faster heroic, but as an ISIS main, maybe could have been expecting that he could. Oh well. Oh well. Would you look at that? Blocked prosperity. Blocked prosperity right there. I'm kinda thinking this is not as well played by Brickhead as rather not well played by Joe, to be honest. I think this is a legit misplay on Joe, because he really was waiting for it for quite some time. And it's gonna be, of course, slowing it down quite significantly. And even though, as I said, he's having quite solid map control, and he basically sees more or less all around the map. More or less all around the map here, keeping his opponent inside his base. He definitely could have played better for him. And he, of course, is gonna be missing the gold, exactly. As he right now is probably gonna be having to use that right about now, but it might be depleting the gold mine at a pretty bad moment. And actually, especially inside still the effect of the prosperity. He's gonna be probably casting right after, I would be expecting. Now the rain is gone. Yeah, there we go. So that's of course something quite important. If you are playing some kind of Eggy Wars or something along those lines, Azra, you can definitely effectively block ISIS's prosperity. And that can definitely put the opponent into a pretty awkward situation. So that's something not to underestimate. And if you are having solid timing and also solid scouting potentially, basically looking when the opponent is gonna be like clumping all the villagers on the gold mines, that's when he's probably gonna be casting the prosperity. Then you can do quite a significant damage to the enemy build order. As right now though, Joe is quite comfortable as he is, gonna be still having plenty of gold from his even delayed prosperity. Right now he's gonna be completely depleting the mine in there. But the Magdal is gonna be already finished, trying to be also stealing the TC, and that is gonna be a bit of an issue of course for Brickhead, because without the front TC, he still could be playing a bit. With the back one and the 2 TC is still gonna be kinda alright for him, of course, as the gold is gonna be really out for him. He's gonna be switching probably into this one. It seems to be on basically some kind of safest spot all across the map in there, but otherwise already getting the relic, of course, for the better scout, or rather for the better farm win rate. That's the better one in the game. But you're also gonna be switching into this opponent side of you, who already does have the Citadel for a bit more population limit right now, and he could have already cast it right now, because he knew that his front TC is gonna be stolen, and of course, that means that casting it somewhere else is just not making any kind of sense, and he can already take the advantage of the extra population limit for free, and also basically make sure that this TC is gonna be as protected as it potentially can, of course with the economy right next to it. Alright, so siege works are also coming up for him, as the Miguel is gonna be fully defensive, but of course he's gonna be in pretty deep problems right now, because the closest gold mine is gonna be the one on the left side, already scouted by Joe, but the one on the right, yeah, I don't really see how he could be getting that, which is of course gonna be blocking him off from the trade route as well, as he already is under quite heavy attack, and it seems that Joe is quite a bit more comfortable in this matchup in here, and with the DC already taken, yeah, you can see that this is not gonna be that easy for Brickhead, as stealing this one is gonna be more or less impossible, especially since Joe seems to be heading to the gold mine or for the food. No, for the food here, and for the gold mine on the left as well, as he is on the gold mine on the right too, which is definitely a nice idea, as diversifying is always great, as it helps you basically stay active in the economy if your opponent is gonna be abusing you on one side of the map, because it's not really that often that you're gonna be raided on all sides at once. Alright, so this is gonna be taken as well by another batch of villagers. His son behind him is gonna be of course completely safe, and I'm just gonna be checking into some kind of economical upgrades. What differences are the hand axe, pickaxe, and then husbandry hunting dogs. And for the opponent who already does have at least a few chariot archers for some kind of raiding, it's gonna be what? Plow and hand axe and pickaxe. What? Can you see that? No hunting dogs. Huh. That is legit strange. That was interesting. That is actually interesting that he didn't go on a high hunt map. Blue Lagoon is pretty much a normal to high hunt map. He didn't go for hunting dogs. Well, so is he like trying some kind of new build order, or has he just basically forgotten? Definitely could be. But Brickhead, oh well, this is the reason. Okay, this is probably the reason, because he's fast mythic. Okay, so 10 minutes, and here we are with fast mythic and Son of Osiris. And yeah, you can maybe remember this from a game that I have cast before, some months ago. It's already on my YouTube as well, between Magyar and Spoink, if I remember correctly. Where Magyar basically went for like literally the same strategy. 1 TC. Oh, no, it's not gonna be the same strategy all that much, it's gonna be a bit different. But of course, he went for fast mythic as well. And basically Son of Osiris won him the game single-handedly. And I think it was actually incidentally also Isis, played by Spawn. It was vanilla, it wasn't really Titans, but still. Right now, those Scarabs with the Eclipse against just a few priests in here, they can probably be quite solidly... Yeah, you can see that was a solid execution right there by the Son of Osiris, 3 at once. But of course, it still means that he did receive quite a lot of damage by all the chariot archers. And of course, right now, since those guys are dying, they could still at least take down the TC, which they will. And probably the Miguel also, it seems like at this point, as the priests are still quite far away. It seems like quite a solid play at this point. Quite a solid play, and maybe could be buying some kind of opportunity for Brickhead to actually retake the TC for himself, but with the Miguel being rebuilt as fast as possible, even though yet again, right now it's gonna be outage on basically mythical units or other, any kind of military units, as the Scorpion, not really Scorpion, the Scarab did take with his last deathly throws the Sphinx out as well, which was quite important for him. He is gonna be finishing with the Miguel, so the replication of his dead army is gonna be coming up forward as well, and another Miguel is gonna be coming in there also, because maybe right now Joe is expecting that the game is gonna be a whole lot harder than maybe expected just a bit before, and especially since Brickhead is gonna be advancing onto the gold on the left side. Yeah, well, we are curious if this mythical age advantage is gonna be holding for Brickhead, or if maybe Joe is gonna be having some kind of counterplay to that. But I'm really liking the complete and utter diversity of Brickhead's play. That's really something special in this little match between him and Joe, as basically all the 3 games so far that we have seen, and the third one that we are right now in, are so different all around. Really enjoying all of them. Hopefully you are enjoying them as well. But of course right now the protection of the gold, would be expecting another Miguel on the left side for Joe as well, though you can see his economy is definitely all over the place. not having enough gold. That's the biggest problem for him. Definitely could be using the shaft mine at this point, I'm thinking. As the opponent, yeah, well, he is already well guarded in the middle of the map. Of course, trying to get the TC back to his control in there. But right now, the Ancestors are right on the gold mine. It's not a bad idea, because he's gonna be basically drawing the Son of Osiris into the battle. And maybe if he's gonna be having some kind of surprise from the back, yes he is, he might be actually sniping him quite well, because he doesn't have anywhere to run. Yeah, and that's exactly what is right now going on. So right now, the Son of Osiris is in pretty big problems. And once he loses him, basically the mythical advantage is gone, which is right now. Goodbye, and that's very well played by Joe. Here again, that's very well played. He used the opportunity to basically lure the Son of Osiris out and also kind of screw the economy a bit. Not really much, but he slightly did. And the biggest advantage of the Mythical Age is right now gone. And that means that basically they're gonna be playing on the same grounds, as I don't really expect that Brickhead will be having enough resources for some kind of extra upgrades. You can see nothing in there. Nothing in there. As here, absolutely nothing either for Joe. So I'm really thinking they're gonna be on even grounds, but not really for much longer. Because the longer the game is gonna go, the bigger advantage is gonna be for Joe, because of course, the extra TC booming. And unless Brickhead is gonna be capturing the TC sometime soon, which doesn't really seem too likely at this point, getting this TC in the middle, he might still be having the one on the left. We definitely liking him to actually capture that. But otherwise, as I said, if Joe holds on, which it seems like he shouldn't be having all that much of a problem with that, he might be really getting the advantage on his side yet again. As Brickhead is also kind of having difficult economy for him. Probably not having all that many upgrades, yeah. He's having basically still the baseline. The same as his opponent. But he could be also trying to use the catapults, of course, as they're gonna be quite useful, as that is something that Joe is so far not having access to at all. Alright, so right now this is gonna be probably on the battlefield all about this. This TC is not gonna be captured by Joe. I'm thinking probably not gonna be having a kind of idea to take it. We'll be really expecting that if he wants the third one, and if he's gonna be resources for that, he's gonna be coming for the safe one at the back. Not really wanting to jeopardize his game all that much by risking the front one, once it's not gonna be safe anymore. Because of course not only the game being kind of sketchy at this point, but also because of the catapults, of course, because as you can see already, right now what Brickhead needs to do is just basically produce the catapults and then, well, guard them with the army. That's all he needs to do at this point, because that is something that Joe is gonna be having limited counterplays too. As trying to destroy them by basically only chariot archers is always gonna be quite difficult, as they do have quite a solid armor against spears, 89%, not bad at all. That's gonna be Miguel probably gone, as another one is already under construction. Would be really liking one here as well, because I'm really thinking this is quite open, as finally some plow and shaft mines being researched by Joe for some better economy all around. And right now, of course, oh, sorry, the Miguel maybe could be still standing for at least a bit, as this catapult is just now dying, but a few more should be coming up yet again from Brickhead, hopefully, but maybe not even so fast, because he probably does have quite solid problems with the economy. You can see that he definitely does. As right now he's finally going for the second TC, and that might be solving quite a bit for him. So let's see if he's gonna be fast enough, or maybe that is already way too late for him to capture the TC and start the economy going. Yeah, he's not having the upgrades yet, so Joe is right now gonna be getting even more advantage from his battery economy. As on the left side, is it already market? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's gonna be coming all the way through TC at the very bottom. Alright, so... Well, this poor Scorpion is gonna die. Found himself in a kinda impossible spot to run away from. Yeah, well, repairing this Miguel, kinda why not? Oh, there we go. There we go. Brickhead is still continuing actually with his gameplay. I'm kinda liking that, because the priests are not really... How to say it? I was going to say not really numerous, but then I noticed that they are. But they are also a bit of a problem for Joe, because they are not really useful against all the other units that the opponent is having. So if actually Brickhead is forcing his opponent to spend his economy into basically all of those priests, which are kind of good only against the myth units, and they are also quite expensive, 100 gold for each. So right now, if you can see this, is how many? 5, 6, about 7 priests. It's basically 700 gold right there. Right there, to fight against basically units that are costing only food. Costing only food, right? Yes. That is actually quite a solid trade right about now in an Egyptian war for Brickhead. So that might be coming back to bite Joe a bit later. But of course, right now, he definitely needs to cooperate a bit better, as he cannot really fight one-on-one. Those chariot archers against chariot archers, and then the Scarabs against the priest. You basically should be forcing the big battle of Scarabs and chariot archers against basically the priest and chariot archers, and then single it out and try to basically kill the priest, and then the Scarabs would be quite difficult to get rid of for Joe. Also, what we mustn't forget is that actually Brickhead is doing a pretty good job of like attacking from both sides at once. It's of course not bad at all. And I'm gonna be waiting with the Scarabs yet again to come forward. That's actually quite nicely played. But yet again, I would be liking to be having some kind of at least a retinue for the Scarabs with the chariot archers, as of course must basically wait for the opening, for the opportunity, how to destroy all of those priests. And if he's gonna be doing this, like now, attacking with the Scarabs without any kind of backing whatsoever, and with the chariots being somewhere else without having any kind of good chance how to destroy the priest, it's still gonna be resulting into them dying just a bit too easily. But he at least did kill the Migdol, and that's already quite a small victory for him, because he will be having a better chance to get rid of this Migdol as well, and then the fortified EC as well. But of course, right now the population limit is gonna be a problem for Brickhead as well, because he doesn't have all that much of a chance yet to get the TC, even though he's definitely getting there. As the TC at the back, exactly as you expected, is gonna be Joe's, and he's gonna be having all the advantage in the world that he potentially could be needing for himself. As he's right now moving forward, walling off the map, getting the golds all around, and maybe gonna be also getting the gold on the right as well. But the question is, has actually Brickhead scouted them? He knows about the one on the right, and right now the Mythical Age, Son of Osiris from the opponent, is coming as well, as even though the Migdol is gone, Joe's economy is much stronger indeed, and right now with this dude, it's gonna be getting a whole lot harder to do anything about it, because of course right now Son of Osiris, that's like insta-death for any kind of Scarabs. So I'm thinking that Brickhead is gonna be giving up on them altogether. There's not much of a reason for them, as he's moving for the gold on the right side, as he's gonna be running out on the left, and maybe could be also establishing the trade route in there already, because the opponent already is. And of course, in Egyptian wars, once it's going past the 20 minutes, which we are right now heading for, it is quite important how your trade route is set up, because that's gonna be, of course, replacing all the gold mines that are getting depleted all across the map. Okay, so it was probably Migdol that as well, as the Scarabs are right now probably at their expiration time. Not gonna be useful anymore, it seems, at this point. As well, oh well, this guy is waiting to be turned into a minion. Yeah, he definitely is. As right now, Joe is definitely pushing the advantage. He's seeing that he does have the opportunity, as the Migdol is finished right next to the gold, which is still having 2000 on it. It's not really bad at all, as he does have finally at least the shaft mine, but maybe there's already gonna be query for this guy. Yep, for Joe, definitely there is a query, Boso as well, and of course irrigation, so his economy is really right now through the roof, and it's gonna be getting increasingly difficult for Brickhead to somehow right now at this point salvage the game. Because of course, with both being in the Mythical Age and the Mythical Age advantage not really being used to win the game for Brickhead, it seems that he should be falling to the better economy of Joe at this point, who was able to hold on long enough so that he could get into his groove. And right now he's definitely gonna be pushing forward, and maybe even taking the TC yet again for 4 of his, and that would be, yeah, quite problematic for Brickhead above any kind of way to come back, I'm thinking, because of course it would be just a bit too much population limit extra, even if he's having the fortified citadel. Of course, IC is having the extra population for each DC. That's always hard to handle. Right now with having even fortified DCs, which his opponent is, I'm thinking, not even having. Oh well, he actually is. So he did research it just recently. He did research that. Yeah, well, the population limit is just not gonna be there to allow him to handle all of the opponent is having, especially with the Son of Osiris still being in there and having quite a good retinue. Okay, so catapults going forward for Brickhead, but from Joe they're gonna be following up close behind as well. So right now, of course, you can see the dead Scarab destroyed exactly as he expected by the mummy. With 2 hit points left, the minion already right now dying. And there we go. The gold is gonna be running out reasonably soon as well, but the extra Migdol is gonna be supplying him extra military units exactly into the battlefield in there. As if you villagers are coming forward, trying to build a Migdol here, I'm thinking, trying to secure the gold mine, but he needs to go a bit back. Maybe it was just a siege works in there, but much more importantly, the gold, or rather the TC, is gonna be coming onto Joe's side. And this is still kinda wide open, even though Brickhead does have quite plenty of gold here. And yeah, of course, the potential for more through the trader, which is kind of solid from here, all the way through back TC if he actually wants to go there. But still, overall, it's gonna be just a question of time before maybe Joe even discovers that. If he actually will want to discover that. Because at this point, it seems like he's kind of comfortable on the left, thinking that he can basically push through his opponent by brute force. And that doesn't seem really all that impossible, because Joe's economy is going very well. You can see right now, 192 population limit for him. Even though he's not popped, he's probably gonna be getting there quite soon. Brickhead is at 150 population limit, having 40 something less. And even though he is popped, he's also completely strained on the economy. He's having completely empty larders and storehouses and everything on his side. This economy is not really having all the upgrades that he could be using. Whereas for the opponent, he is really having so much more, especially on the gold department. So he basically right now can, you can see exactly, he can spam mercenaries and he's even having them on auto queue in there. Yeah, mercenaries on auto queue, and there we go. That's gonna be quite a heavy battle, but oh well, he needs to be a whole lot more careful here. Because he probably thought that he can basically handle it quite easily, but anything but. Because I'm seeing upgrades here. Heavy chariots for Brickhead. And the bone bow in there for better chariot archer range. Whereas for the opponent we see the heavy chariots as well. And copper weapons on them also. So yeah, I was kind of thinking that maybe there were a few more upgrades for Brickhead, but apparently not. And that means that with the extra mercenaries we are just gonna be like kind of tanky units, absorbing a lot of damage from the chariot archers. And with the elephants from the left coming as a surprise, yep, that's a very nice little play in there. From the side Migdol in here, it seems that Brickhead is gonna be losing this Migdol and he's gonna be down to only one. But much more importantly, he's gonna be losing the rest of the gold. And he's gonna be damn close to be fighting for the TC on the left in there. And that is of course something that he doesn't really want to do all that much. As on the right, that's already gonna be walling all across the map. As Brickhead is gonna be giving up this game. As even though that was quite a solid and interesting strategy, the fast mythic at 10 minutes from him, in the end it just didn't yield him enough advantage. And Joe was able to hold on long enough to come back and of course then finish the game as we are seeing now. Well, that was a third game and quite a bit diverse from the previous ones of course. All three games quite different and we have seen quite nice plays, especially from Brickhead. Now this time Joe did have the answer to his opponent's play. Well done. Well done indeed. Alright, so 50, or rather 5,000. The score for Joe, yeah, well, expected military better for Brickhead. He seemed to be a bit more efficient in there, maybe even killing more units. So not that much of a surprise, but oh well, the difference in the economy we can see. Something like that has to come through. That has to come through. You can see 4,000 here, one here, but 11,000 on the gold. 11,000 more gold in an Eggy war. Like, that would be a miracle if actually Brickhead was able to pull through that. And yeah, the miracle didn't happen. Right now, Joe military count 163, units killed 110, and lost 143. Not that huge. Better, of course, for Brickhead. So I can see his gameplay was overall more efficient, but just the stronger economy for Joe prevailed. And the research is, of course, from the stronger economy. That just goes hand in hand, not hands in, whatever. Hand in hand. And this is exactly where it started. Already at 9 minutes. Already at 9 minutes, such a better boom, of course. Which is understandable, because, of course, if you go for fast mythic, you're not gonna be booming at the same time. But the military units were kinda the same all the time here. Well, GG.